Kia ora everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Renee. I like to read books and then talk about them on the internet. So, today's video is a little sit-down, vloggy, book haul, reading catch-up type hybrid thing. I had the best intentions to do a birthday reading vlog, and that was kind of going to encompass a bit of what's in this video now, but I don't know, it just kind of got to about halfway through the week or the vlog last week and there was nothing really substantial to make it kind of good. So I thought rather than abandoning it or trying to make something subpar, I would sit down and kind of share a bit about my birthday and show you some of the books that I bought for my birthday or books I received for my birthday from friends and family, and talk a little bit about the books that I was reading last week, and some of them I've finished now as well. So yeah, just a bit of a different format, but still kind of the same things I was going to have in that vlog, and just a little bit later. So hopefully this is all still good. But yeah, my birthday was last Wednesday. I guess I'm still going on about it. I wanted to do a birthday vlog because it felt like a nice piece of content to have as like a memory thing. I've been enjoying having vlogs for that purpose and like making them for that purpose. So yeah, I just thought I still wanted to be able to do something with a bit of the footage that I have from that day specifically and show it to you, or at least have it in a video. It was a really good day. I was worried that I was going to be sad because it's the vibe that was last year, and I was really determined to not be sad this year. So I think just having that kind of outlook on the day set me up to have a nice day, which is all I really wanted. So yeah, I got to lie in and have my cup of tea in bed, which I love to do. Got to open some presents. I got so many beautiful flowers on my birthday. I felt very spoiled in that present front. I love receiving flowers. Because I was in such a good mood, I got up and I put on some music and got ready and was just like dancing around the house. And it really just was a nice start to the day. I've got some footage of me doing some dancing, which I will insert here. Alright, that's enough. That's enough. We've had enough. We did some dancing and then my friend came and picked me up and we went book shopping. I got a voucher for my birthday from Rupert to go book shopping, which was nice, and my friend got a voucher from me to go book shopping. So we went book shopping together. It was really nice. We just went and had some lunch and just like sat and chatted for 3 hours, and that was so nice. I really enjoyed that. And then I went and did some book shopping on my own afterwards, which was very successful, and I managed to find some good things. And then at that point I was kind of like ready to just come home and chill out, but I hadn't really spent much time with Rupert or Mars that day, so I wanted to come home and just chill before we went out to dinner, which I did. And then we had a dinner reservation at Igor, which is a Korean Italian fusion restaurant on Ponsonby Road. So delicious. Food was unreal. The cacio e pepe tteokbokki. So good. Oh, I could eat it right now. I will share some delicious food clips with you now. So after dinner, we just went and had a drink at a bar, and then we came home, and I went to bed, and it was a good day. Couldn't have been a better day. It was the perfect balance of like it being my birthday, but not feeling like I needed it to be the center of attention, but getting the right amount of attention. I don't know if other people kind of struggle with that. You kind of want to feel special, but you don't want to feel too much like people are making it all about you. So it was great. And then I woke up the next day and was like glad that it wasn't my birthday. So I think it's just another nice birthday that's passed, and now we can just move on with life. So let's talk about some books that I bought and got given for my birthday. Okay, so first up, I got gifted some books from some lovely friends who know me far too well, and they did good. Okay, so first up was some books from my friend Sophie, who lives in Sydney. She got me Stillborn by Guadalupe Natal, which is recently just been longlisted for the International Booker. Very excited to read this. I actually had a digital arc of this when it first came out, but that's long gone and I never got around to reading it. But it's about motherhood and kind of those difficult decisions around whether or not to have children, something I'm very, very interested in, especially in fiction, and I'm looking forward to reading that. Okay, next up she got me this book that I had never seen or heard of. It's this, which has no blurb. The only thing that it has on the outside is it says Alcatraz. There's no blurb or indication as to what it is, which when I first opened it I was kind of worried. I don't know why, but it just felt a bit unnerving to be given a book that had no description of what it was on it at all. But I opened it and kind of quickly figured out that it's a collection of poetry from different authors, and then each poem has like a little illustration. It's like a simple pencil illustration to go along with it, which, yeah, it's like one of those things that I'm like, I don't think I would have picked this for myself, but it's such a nice gift to be given. I did a bit of Googling and found out that they're Australian poets as well, so I am really looking forward to getting into that. So thank you, Sophie, for a book that I want to read and a book that I would never have picked up for myself, but I'm very excited about. Okay, next up I got 3 books from my friend Jessica. She got me Is Mother Dead by Vigdis Hjorth. This book I almost pre-ordered, and I actually did pre-order and I had to cancel it from Blackwell's because she bought it for me, so it just speaks to how well she knows me. This is another one that's been longlisted for the International Booker that I have been wanting to read, but I have been waiting for it to come out in paperback. which wasn't going to be till later on this year, but she sent it to me and I'm so excited. Another book about motherhood, kind of complicated mother-daughter relationship and art. Very excited. She got me Getting Lost by Annie Ernaux, which is so nice. I'm definitely going to be an Annie Ernaux completionist at some point. I have enjoyed everything that I've read of hers so far, so kind of just picking out books where I see them. And very happy to add this one. I think that this is maybe her most recent memoir. Yeah, I think these are mostly like diary entries. I just love the way she kind of is able to look back at her life and kind of examine it and pick it apart and put it back together in her writing. Okay, and then the last book I got from Jessica is The Birthday Party by Laurent Mauvenier. Okay, that was so bad. My French pronunciation is terrible. Hold on one moment.
Laurent Mauvenier.
Okay, Laurent Mauvenier. Is that good? Sophie? From Biblio Sophie? I'm sorry. Sorry for butchering the French language. Again, another one that's been long-listed for the International Booker that I wanted to read. It was on my list. I think these 3 books plus Balder by Eva Baltazar are the ones that I was interested in reading off that list. So 4 out of however many books get picked for the long list is not bad, and I don't have to buy any of them for myself. So that's even better. But yeah, this book is supposed to be quite dark and spooky, and a lot of creepy things begin to happen to this family on the night of a birthday party that the husband throws for the wife. Okay, so those are the books that I was gifted for my birthday from my beautiful, wonderful, amazing, generous, I love you so much friends. These books I all bought all for myself, but I think I'm going to start with the ones that I used my voucher on, because those were technically a gift as well. Okay, so first up I got I'm a Fan by Sheena Patel. This is long listed for the Women's Prize for Fiction. Both Adam Khan and Hannah May read this and I think spoke about it highly. I know that Hannah enjoyed it, and I think Adam did as well. And also my friend Alina has read this and made a really interesting video where she's connected this book to the Selena Gomez, Hailey Bieber drama that was going on for a hot minute. Looks at kind of single white female type internet stalkerish behaviours. Sounds really good. Can't wait to read it. I got Kick the Latch by Catherine Scanlon. At first I wasn't interested in this book because I was like, horse vibes. No thank you, I'm not a horse girl. But I've heard a few people read it and talk about it and say how good it is. It's a very fragmentary type fictional story written about a horse trainer. But the author has adapted the story from interviews and transcripts from interviews with the horse trainer. So yeah, kind of just thought about trying something new and different and seeing how I enjoy it. So picked that one up. And the last one I got with my voucher was Upstream by Mary Oliver, which I have been wanting to buy for a while and just thought, you know what, you got to treat yourself, do it. So I did. This comes highly recommended by both Katie James and Iggy. And I've read some of Mary Oliver's poetry and really enjoyed it. So no doubt her essays will be just as beautifully written and very nature-filled, which I'm trying to become a nature girly reader. Is that what it is? Just trying to become more of a nature girly, okay? Okay, the next few are books that I just saw and bought for myself because I wanted to. I'm going to do secondhand books first. I picked up A Sport and a Pastime by James Salter. This is a story about a Yale student who goes to France and falls in love with a young French girl in the 1960s. James Salter's writing is supposed to be very sensuous, and I'm kind of looking for like a romance story that is not your typical romance story, so I'm hoping that this could potentially be that. I got Revolutionary Road by Richard Yates. Amelia, a lovely watcher of my channel and commenter, recommended this on my video, Books About Love, where I read books that were kind of about love but not your traditional love stories, and she recommended this as a good book for that type of love story as well. It's the story of a marriage that kind of begins to disintegrate. Knew that this book popped up all the times when I visit secondhand stores, so I saw it and I thought I must get. So I did. I got The Quick and the Dead by Joy Williams. I've heard that she's an amazing short story writer, but this is not a short story collection. This is a novel, but I've heard it's maybe one of her more famous pieces. Yeah, I saw it secondhand and I thought, must have. I actually had this in my cart online and was gonna buy it for my birthday, but then I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't because this was only $10. Okay, next I got The Body Artist by Don DeLillo. This is off a recommendation from Ben Green. He read this, and I mean, when he reads and talks about a book that he likes, you just have to buy it. So this is I think a book about grief and kind of ghost love story about an artist who loses his wife. Ben spoke about it really highly, so saw it and thought I would pick it up. And the last secondhand book that I got myself, I bought on Thrift Books, which is Love by Toni Morrison, because I love Toni Morrison. I actually bought this with a copy of Jazz, which when it arrived I was very shocked because the book was on Thrift Books described as being in very good condition. I will insert a video of the condition to which the book was in. I very quickly got a refund for that, and then I left it in the little free library across the road from work. So hopefully somebody else can enjoy it, but that book had seen better days, that's for sure. Anyway, I really love these like vintage Knopf editions of her work, so I'm trying to collect them all because I know that eventually I will read them. We're on a Toni Morrison kick for sure. The next few are brand new books. I picked up A Minor Chorus by Billy Ray Belcourt. I actually already owned this book, but I needed to get this one because it matches my copy of A History of My Brief Body. So yeah, I do own two copies of this book now, but I will probably give the other copy to somebody else. So I have actually finished A History of My Brief Body just yesterday, and we'll talk about that shortly, but I am looking forward to reading this, his first novel. So it's about a writer. It seems quite auto-fiction-y. It's about an Indigenous queer writer, maybe working through academia. Sounds like it's definitely going to be autofiction. Okay, next up I picked up two of Joan Didion's books. I got Slouching Towards Bethlehem and The White Album. I actually also ordered Play As It Lays, and they're cool FSG classic covers because I wanted to be one of those girlies, but I also don't own these books, so I wanted to rectify that. I haven't read too much Joan Didion. I've only read 2 of her books. I've read The Year of Magical Thinking and Let Me Tell You What I Mean. If anyone has any recommendations from what a good next book of Joan Didion's to read would be, let me know. I picked up The Years by Annie Ernaux, just because, like I said, I've enjoyed everything I've read of her so far, and I think she'll be someone that I continue to buy and read as she publishes and writes books. Okay, and the last book I picked up for myself was Biography of the Ex by Catherine Lacey. This book is huge. It's like as big as my head. I didn't realise it's going to be this big, but whatever. I needed to have this ridiculous hardcover edition, so I ordered that one from a bookshop, and it arrived yesterday, or this week, so I went and picked it up yesterday. And it was the last book to end this book haul, birthday book binge haul thing. I'm really looking forward to reading this. I think it talks about art and identity, grief. Kind of reminded me of, like, when reading about what this book is about, kind of reminded me a little bit of The Friend, and kind of telling someone's story once they are no longer alive, and how accurate can they ever be, and who has the right to tell those stories. Yeah, I am really looking forward to this. It's supposed to be really dark as well, so cool. That's the book haul. A lot of books, but what were you expecting? I always do it. I always bring it every time. Okay, so here in my hands I have some books that I've finished recently, a book that I'm currently reading, and then a few books that I want to read, including a couple that I got from the library, which I thought I'd just show you really quickly. Okay, I recently finished A History of My Brief Body by Billy Ray Balcourt. This is a memoir told in essays. Billy Ray Balcourt is a queer native to Canada. He's from the Driftpile Cree Nation. He is a writer, and this memoir essay collection definitely is looking at those ways that his life kind of hits those different intersections and what that is like for him. I think I didn't enjoy this as much as I thought I was going to. I found the writing a little bit hard to access. He's a poet first. I think the way that he kind of sees and views language and uses it to tell stories and to describe things is obviously very inherent in that practice of poetry writing and thinking and looking at things, which I just found a little bit difficult to kind of tap into. There was still some really beautiful parts to it, and I still appreciated the writing, but a lot of it did kind of go in one ear and straight out the other, and I kind of maybe wish I had have spent more time sitting with it to try to understand it, but I felt like I'd got enough from it to know that it's perhaps just not a book that I will connect with in the same way that I did with, say, something like Post-Colonial Love Poem by Natalie Diaz. And I'm not sure why that is, but I'm still thinking about it. I just finished this yesterday. Yeah, overall, I kind of was not as taken by it as I thought I would be. But I am looking forward to reading his novel, Beloved, by Toni Morrison. I finished this on Friday night and I'm completely just in love with Toni Morrison and the way that she uses words and her use of language and the attention she pays to her characters and the way that they use language was just so brilliant. I listened to this on audio while I was reading it, and Toni Morrison reads it, so to hear her read the words as she kind of intended for them to be read was perfect. I don't think I would have had the exact rhythm or cadence that she had, but the way that she delivered them was so unexpected, but added a certain playfulness to a heavy themed book. I loved it so much. Again, I'm still processing this book. I'm still trying to think about what it is doing. I've been watching a lot of Toni Morrison interviews where she speaks about it because, I'm just super interested in all the different meanings and all the different ways that she's chosen to write a story like this. More Morrison, for sure. Okay, the next book that I'm currently reading is Among Flowers by Jamaica Kincaid. This is actually my book club pick, which is tomorrow, and I haven't finished it. I'm apparently according to Storygraph, I'm only 25% of the way through. So I need to read this before tomorrow. I don't know if I will, but I think I'm going to try and get through a big, decent chunk. But this is basically a travel log of the time that Jamaica Kincaid travelled to Nepal, and there with some friends collected seeds for their gardens, which, I don't know, it sounds very kind of basic in premise, and I guess it is, but the idea of Jamaica Kincaid writing about that is interesting. She loves her garden and its kind of importance in her life and all that it brings to her, the way that it reminds her of her mother and the influence or the importance that her mother has on her life and the person that she has become is very clear in the introduction. Learning a lot, looking up a lot of these flowers because I don't know the names of them, or I don't know anything. I just look them up and think, oh, that's really pretty, and then kind of underline it, take a screenshot or save it. But yeah, it's okay so far. I've got to try and finish this today though. Okay, lastly, I just wanted to talk about some books that I am looking forward to reading. So yesterday I went to the library and I picked up Optic Nerve by Maria Gainza. This is actually going to be my book club's April book. It says here, whenever I'm in survival mode, I find myself magnetized by museums and galleries, like people running for air raid shelters in wartime. A woman searches Buenos Aires for the paintings that are her inspiration and her refuge. Her life, she is a young mother with a complicated family, is sometimes overwhelming. But among the canvases, often little-known works and quiet rooms, she finds clarity and a sense of who she is. Her knowledge of art is seductive, her anecdotes provocative and generous. What she wants to know is the connection between a painting and the person who is moved by it. As Optic Nerve takes us into its confidence, it offers up its own particular answer, one that leaves us emboldened, more appreciative of what we see and hear, and more curious about the world. So yeah, that sounds like a good next book club pick. I'm looking forward to reading a novel. While I was there, I picked up Johnny Appleseed by Joshua Whitehead. The Auckland Writers' Festival has been announced in the last couple of weeks, and Joshua Whitehead is going to be attending. So I would like to read this before going to one of the events that he's speaking at, which I have circled. But I think after reading Billy Ray Belcourt, this will be an interesting kind of look at, again, a queer Indigenous writer and their story told in almost like an autofiction type way. So it says, off the res and trying to find ways to live, love and survive in the big city, Johnny has 1 week before he must return to his home and his former life to attend the funeral of his stepfather. The 7 days that follow are like a fevered dream, stories of love, trauma, sex, kinship, ambition and heartbreaking recollections of his beloved Kokum, his grandmother. Johnny's life is a series of breakages, appendages and linkages. As he goes through the motions of Preparing to return home, he learns how to put together the pieces of his life. Johnny Appleseed is a unique, shattering vision of Indigenous life full of grit, glitter, and dreams. Gonna be honest, bit of a cheesy blurb, but I think Iggy read this and really enjoyed it. So I will give it a go. Okay, then the last book that I wanted to talk about is actually one that I got on my Kindle because I decided that I need to get back on the NetGalley game. I am not really requesting physical copies of books anymore from publishers because I couldn't handle the stress of feeling like I needed to read everything and then write these reviews for them or like feature them, so I just stopped. But I can kind of handle it on my Kindle, and I just requested one and it came through last night, so which I'm really excited about. It's The House on Via Gemito by Domenico Starnone. It's like a cool cover. Pull it up so that I can talk about it a little bit. Okay, it's out May 30th, so we got a while. The extraordinary Strega Prize-winning novel confirms Domenico Starnone's reputation as one of Italy's greatest living writers. Told against the backdrop of Naples in the 1960s, a city that itself becomes a vivid character in this lush, atmospheric novel. The House of Via Gemito is a masterpiece of Italian fiction, one that is steeped in Neapolitan lore. A modest apartment in Via Gemito smells of paint and turpentine, its furniture pushed up against the wall to create a makeshift studio. Drying canvases moved from bed to floor each night. Federi, the father, a railway clerk, is convinced that he possesses great artistic promise. If it weren't for the family he must feed and the jealousy of his fellow Neapolitan artists, nothing would stop him from becoming a world-famous painter. Ambitious and frustrated, genuinely talented but also arrogant and resentful, Federi is scarred by constant disappointment. He is a larger-than-life character, a liar, a fabulist, and his fantasies shape the lives of those around him, especially his young son, Mimi, short for Domenico, who will spend a lifetime trying to get out from under his father's shadow. Yeah, that sounds really good. I love Domenico Starnone's writing. I like the way that he writes about the nuances in relationships and those feelings amongst his characters are always written in a really interesting and subtle way. So I'm looking forward to reading that. Okay, this video has been much longer than I intended, but I hope you have enjoyed me talking about books, which I haven't done for a while. It's been fun. It was nice to be able to share some of my birthday activities with you all. I guess I'll be back with a wrap-up soon. As always, if you have any thoughts, feelings, opinions, comments you'd like to share about any of the books that I've mentioned, I would love to know. Please leave them below and I will for sure get back to you. Okay, bye-bye.